Hey guys, how's it going? This is Zero Sum and welcome back to FTL. Just continuing on with the ENGI run that we started the other day. Currently up to the end of Sector 2 and we're moving on to Sector 3 now. Got a choice between ENGI homeworlds and an abandoned sector. Just debating whether I should go through the abandoned sector or not. We're probably going to get some tricky boarding parties with the Lanius boarding parties in the abandoned sector. We don't have the best crew to handle boarding parties either. If we go through the ENGI homeworlds, that's pretty much going to force us to go through a nebula as well. But I think it's probably the safest move. So let's go through the ENGI homeworlds. What I really need to do is get a little bit more reactor power. So I suppose we could sell, if we can find a store. Let's go straight to the store straight away. I want to sell this extra Combat 2, which will never be able to get powered up. It's totally useless to have a second Combat 2. We'll keep the hull repair drone, we'll keep the Combat 2 that we picked up in the first sector. We've got a decent weapons loadout as well now with the burst laser and the iron blast on board. Cloaking would be really nice, but we don't have anywhere near enough scrap for that unfortunately. Mind control, we've got options for other drones as well. Defense 2 would be a kind of temporary defense against missile ships. FTL recharge booster stealth weapons, reconstructive teleporter, and we don't want any of the weapons they've got for sale. Do we have any other stores nearby? We do. It's tempting to maybe not get anything here and just move on to the next store. The defense drone would be a relatively safe bet though, I think. Because we would let us avoid a lot of damage. But I think we'll spend that on doing some sort of upgrades to the system here, to the ship. Wouldn't mind getting a second layer of shields as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for the shields and carry on. We're about to the exit over here. Hopefully that was the right decision. Ooh, another free weapon. A small merchant ship messages you. Underground Federation comm channels are all talking about your secret mission. Let's install a weapon to help. Good luck. Stun bomb and 18 scrap. Very nice. I suppose maybe we should go to that store and sell that weapon for some more scrap. Yeah, why not? Sell. Let's get rid of the stun bomb. Combat 1. We do have the option to go for a bunch of drones, but the only problem is it uses up drone parts. I think we will not get anything here. We'll just keep the scrap and buy some more reactor power. Get those second shields online. Then we just need to upgrade the engines a little bit and also get some spare powder on the drones. Hopefully we can get some relatively easy fights here to pick up some scrap. Ship without life forms within a nearby dense asteroid field is giving off the distress call. Search for the ship. Find that it carrying remains of some kind of ship coated with ice or crystal. Send some crew aboard to explore. Nearly everything is either destroyed or unidentifiable. Strange stasis pod or a weapon. I think we'll go for the weapon. And spare scrap. Fire beam. 14 scrap. Maybe worth getting that equipped. Maybe worth selling that. I'll do it for now. 33 scrap. I should have probably bought another reactor power there as well. So we've got the spare power to potentially get the Combat 2 online. We have to turn off one of our shields, I think, to do that. Yes. Probably have to turn off one of the shields. Probably go for a little bit more reactor power still, by the looks of that. Nearby space station, how's your greetings? Your arrival is most fortuitous. We recently came across some extra drones. Have some fuel, perhaps we can make a deal. I don't have any extra fuel, sorry. I've got 5 left. Actually need to pick up some fuel here pretty soon. That's a lot of free scrap too. This was the site of a recent battle, either a show of Mantis Force or the ENGI weren't disposed to go peacefully. You pick through the pieces, 1 fuel, 2 missiles, 36 scrap. Engine time. Good. Might as well keep that fully powered and the med bay as well, I suppose. Okay, fair enough. We've got a Mantis who thinks he's human and will be on our shield system. Sensors have picked up a refugee ship drifting through the system. Let's hail them. Offering a trade minus fuel. No, we don't need missiles and we need fuel, so no thank you. And a store. Let's go to store and exit. We'll sell the fire beam probably here, so we can pick up some fuel, which we're desperately short on. Pretty uneventful sector though. And fuel please. And unless the exit beacon is going to be crazy, I don't think it will though. We've arrived at the long range beacon. Ooh, fuel for a drone part. Yes, we'll do that. And that's the end of the sector. That was a pretty uneventful sector. Next up we've got the slug control nebula. Let's see what we've got. Store straight away, just no use to us, so we'll skip that. Track the distress beacon with difficulty to one of the 6 moons of a planet hidden in the nebula. 6. That is correct. You surprise me, human, is it? Yes. Big partners, slug. Fantastic. Perfect time to pick up a sluggeroonie as well, because they can actually detect enemy crew positions even within a nebula. We'll save you onto the sensors as well. And we'll move on. So we can always detect enemy crew positions now. Come across a large trade station. However, as soon as you approach, a warning goes out to all ships in the region. Do not associate with the Federation sympathizer. No one will sell, and we get a automated ship for our troubles with a mind control. Going for our human. Let's go all out on their mind control. Launch the combat drone. Give me 4 power. How many shots do they actually have? It's enough oxygen and med bay and power, and launch the combat 2 instead. Perfect. Totally wiped out. Let's go for their weapons next. Let's see if we can get rid of them super quickly. I think we should be out of the air. Just a couple more shots. Put oxygen back on. Wrecked. That was pretty easy actually. Ship explodes, 2 missiles, 1 drone part, and 34 scrap. Starting to get slightly better scrap from the fights now as well. Let's start saving the scrap as well. I think I've got enough power with the burst 2 and the combat 2 powered up. I think I've got enough offensive capability to go for a little while here, and I actually want to get some maybe a cloak online if we can. Head back into the nebula. We can get some easy fights. Wow, 3 shield chip with a beam weapon and a heavy laser. What does the station have? Marine station or a small rebel space station. We may get a reward from the station if we fight them, but they've got 3 shields. I think they've got the weaponry to get through to us though. These larger automated ships sometimes have drone systems. Let's take the automated ship and see what we've got. Yeah, I suspected as much, but they've only got beam drone with a single shot laser, so they can't do any damage to us at all. We're totally safe against these guys. We could probably do this without... Can we do this without the drone part? Let's see how quickly the ion blast and the burst laser can get through their shields. There'll be misses. They'll actually stop us doing something. Yeah, so we'll need the combat 2 as well. Let's go oxygen off and let's combat the power 2. Power up the combat 2. Weapons is leveled up, nice. There you go, finish them off. Just the cost of a drone part. The only problem with using drone parts in fights is that essentially it's minus 8 scrap every single time you use one. Salvage what you can from the broken ship, 40 scrap, and what do we get from the station? Anti-ship beam drone 2, nice. That's a 3 or 4 power weapon though, I believe, and some scrap as well. 3 power. Yeah, we're to combat 2. It's kind of hard to get an extra drone line. Although we could, I suppose, alternate between the 2, depending on which we need, and also depending on how much power we've got. Might be worth actually testing the beam 2 out for a little while as well. Another store. Oh, with that option, we can go to this store and try and sell it and pick up a cloak. That would definitely be worth doing if we could afford to do that. It'd even be worth considering getting rid of the hull repair to do that. They've got a cloak. They've got a cloak. I think we're going to be saying goodbye to the hull repair and the beam to pick up that cloak. What else do they have? Let's not get too excited here. Long range scanners are useful as well. They've got some good drones. Combat 1 and a Defense 2 and a beam drone. How much do we get for selling the beam 2? 30, 72, it's 174 we'd have. If we bought the cloak, we'd be left with 22, which is not really enough to buy anything else. Nothing else we can sell either, is there? No. I think what we'll do is sell the... Which is the Combat 1 worth? 37. I think we'll get rid of the beam weapon. And we'll get rid of the hull repair as well, buy the cloak. Kind of pricey thing to do, but I think that'll be worth it in the long run. And you're not guaranteed you're actually going to get a cloak for the flagship fight, so it's always worth picking up, I think. At least for me it is. Go back to oxygen. And let's jump on. It basically gives you some free shots against ships that have missiles as well. There are a few more vicious beasts in the galaxy than a slug with his back to the wall. The faltering ship armed with fire weapons uses a remote hacking tool to try to disable your door system. They're going to burn you out. Free shields, combat drone time. They've got a missile, so we'll need to use our cloak at certain points in this fight. They don't have anything that cares about our shields though, so we can turn the shields off, down to 1 at least. We can power the combat drone with that. We can fire the Iron Blast, let's take down their shields and we'll target their weapons. Let's see what we can do here. We can plug probably through their first shot. See how we go. Missile, let's cloak. 75. I would like better than 75. Let's go all the power to engines instead. Miss. Go back to shields. And we are not through their shields yet though, and now we are. Just barely. One shot to their weapons, 2 shots to their weapons, good. This dude is not going to be able to handle the firebombs, so we'll send the engines in to help with that. Their weapons are down, so let's switch the burst laser over to... Let's switch both over to their shields. Make sure their shields stay down for the rest of this fight. Excellent, and we'll go back to their weapons. We'll send out all our guys back to their stations. Flagship breaks apart, we get 1 missile, 1 drone part, and 29 scrap. And let's buy 1 more reactor power. We've got basically spare reactor power, but that's mainly because I want to be able to run that Combat 2 when I need it. You detect multiple ships running at maximum power nearby, but you can't see anything through this thick nebula. Let's get closer. Find a slug cruiser and a rock ship at a standoff, both with weapons armed and ready to fight. Could intervene before this gets out of hand. Tell them to see what's wrong. I'm going to keep on pushing until I can get into a fight here, basically. Slug captain explains that they're upgrading the rock ship's reactor, and now the thick bolterheads are refusing to pay. We'd pay their debt, would demand the rocks pay. -12, we get something random, or we fight the ship and probably get scrap, and then we can spend it on what we want. Let's demand the rocks pay. Ooh. Okay, that wasn't worth it. I thought we might get a fight, but we just got damage. And no reward. Let's launch a... Oh, I got rid of the hull repair drone as well. And let's actually get... We've got a bunch of crew that need healing, so we'll do that before we move on as well. Okay, back to stations. Let's move on. Another store. Is it worth going there? Probably for the repairs at least. Maybe a little bit of fuel as well. Okay. And we jump on. We're not going to get that many beacons at the end here, are we? No. Probably just one more and then the exit. You arrive to find a small slug repair station. Care for a fix-up. Ask if they would like payment. Okay, they didn't like that. Just before the transmission is cut, you hear, not falling for it. Oh, okay, it was a trap anyway. We have a slug ship with a heavy 2 and a heavy 1, and that is it. Can we do that with... I think we can just cloak through their first heavy 2 shot. We'll probably do this without the combat drone, I believe. Lock into their shields first. They don't have a med bay. We'd actually take out their oxygen and try and suppress their weapons. No, it is possible, I think, to get a crew kill on this one, but it's kind of tricky. We'll just do it the safe way. And miss. We don't need to cloak for their heavy 2. Shields up. Let's just drill down their shields first. Nice, nice. Let's target... I mean, they've got 2 shields, yeah. I think it's going to be too tricky to try and kill the crew, so we'll just take out the ship as quickly as we can. Another 2 misses. Our evasion is incredibly good at the moment. The nice thing about this is when they're off their following system, their evasion's very low as well, so the shots should be going through most of the time. Back to shields. They've got a lot of power in their weapon system, so we've hit it a few times and haven't managed to completely disable their weapons. We've done this without the cloak as well, which is pretty good. Next shot should finish them off. You have bested us. We accept what is in our stores in exchange for our lives. Weapon... Well, we could take the weapon that they've got and then sell it. It's probably going to be worth a little bit, but I don't know if we're going to get scrap at the same time. Let's risk it. Let's say, let them live. Transfer the mega amount of material. Didn't give us anything. 3 fuel, 17 scrap. Should have killed them. Should have killed them. Let's jump on. And because the exit is in a nebula beacon, we're not going to get a fight, I don't think. Nope. That's that sector done. Still need to do some upgrades to the weapons, though we have got the cloak online now, so we're doing pretty well. Next up is the Rebel Stronghold. Interesting, maybe we'll get the unfinished flagship fight in there as well. I'm going to leave it there for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.